I go and I write down the things that I never regret and the things that I always regret. And I try to set my next week up to limiting, some things. So like something I never regret would be eating healthy. Um, I've never regretted a workout, even if like I probably didn't have enough time to do it. I've never regretted missing whatever the heck it was next. Never, not once, no matter what it was. Um, things like that. Spending more time with family, spending more time with friends. Never regretted any of that. Things that I pretty frequently regret, you know, watching, too many YouTube, spending too much time on YouTube, spending, eating a dessert that I probably shouldn't have, a lot of different things along those lines. So just trying to edge more towards the things that I never regret and edging slightly away from the things that uh, I regret every time because there are those things in all of our lives that we still do, even though we regret it every single time. So just writing them down, and I think that makes you much more conscious of those things. So I try to do it, and when I do it, I usually post it on LinkedIn as well. But I'm curious, to whatever point. I know Quinn, you mentioned, getting your feet on the ground, and you had gotten me to try it when I was back in Connecticut. I tried it. It's a little bit harder to do in a city.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in the country or somewhere like that, I tried after Quinn sent me some resources on the matter, and I mean, it's interesting. Also, just in terms of like building up like your the toughness of your feet, because that gives you advantages even when you are wearing shoes, like on the basketball court or whatever the heck it is. So that's super interesting. But I want to open up the floor to you guys. Maybe Quinn, if you want to start
Yeah.
any of these like little life hack things that you have, because those are, in my opinion, what makes people and special. And you guys are all obviously very special, not just to me but to others. So wanted to just toss that up for you guys.
Yeah. Well, I think how you do anything is how you do everything. That's kind of what my dad taught me. So whether it's like washing the dishes right after you use them, like, or making your bed first thing in the morning, like those things set you up to win all day, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
and like not beating yourself up about when you don't do stuff right. Like my car was so messy. Like I had like old strawberries from like 2 weeks ago, like like molding and stuff. I was like, oh, nasty. That's where the funk was coming from, you know.
Yeah.
But like not beating myself about that. I'm just like, oh, I'll just go clean my car today and like dedicate that for myself. Like I have like just like do it and don't beat yourself up about it. I have a lot of things like as you guys can tell, like it's like mountain biking. I think I mountain bike like 5 times a week. I'm
Nice.
always learning. I don't go to school. I don't go to college. I think Buster, you can vouch for that too.
Yep.
On like just the whole, um, yeah. So I don't go to college, but I don't think that's an excuse to not continue learning, right? Like I
So,
still buy courses all the time, but they're very niche, like photography, because I'm a photographer as well. Very niche, mountain rescue, crevasse rescue, ski mountaineering courses, like education, so I can be safer when I'm doing the things I love and mountain biking and climbing and all those things. But I don't think there's like ever an excuse to not learn. So if you're or reading books, right? It's like
yeah.
I just started reading like 3 months ago, and I'm like, I've been missing this all
This is the
along.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like what? I'm like oh, I knew these things were all inside, like all this info, but now I have like a deeper understanding of like, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I can expand that and I can have better conversations and I can, really connect with people more on like the topics they're interested in, like whether it's like indigenous. I didn't know anything about indigenous tribes, but like doing the research so I can have like just like a diverse like playing ground, I guess.
Yeah.
And so like getting all that, but yeah. So I guess my like just like do everything like really consciously. Like everything is pretty much like how you're gonna do, or how you're gonna live your life. So from dishes to cleaning to mountain biking, yeah. Yeah. And delegation has been a good one. That's something I learned this year. I've been running best celebrations since 2013, all the way
Yeah.
back to mine, and I've never trusted someone to run my account with me. And
Right.
for the first time, I brought on this kid named Brennan, and he's been crushing it. And that's been freeing up a lot of my time. And being able to like duplicate myself has
Yeah.
like made the world of difference. I don't know how you feel about that, Ash. Like I'm curious what your thoughts are, because you're on the other side of it, right? Like you're overseeing a lot of this stuff, and
Yeah.
Mo, you're on Twitter, and I mean, I don't know if you have someone helping you run it too, but I'm just curious on what you guys think about that.
Yeah, I think with regards to delegation, actually I'm managed like TikTok and Instagram. So I have a great team. Any of the graphics that you've seen go up are team. Any of the videos that we do, the edits are team. And then but when it comes to pulling the trigger, like I'm posting that stuff, and then over like evenings and weekends, I have another one of our team members join and helping. And it was hard at first to like let go of the keys of the page, which I'm sure was for you too, because you know the approach and the aesthetic and the general theme and like who your audience is. But it's been very helpful, and I think I'm really learning about delegation more and more, and I understand the value in it, and I think it really helps free up time, and it helps you also like pass on your learnings. And I think a lot of the time when people suffer from giving up things or trying to take control, it's like an ego thing, and I've been really working on like figuring out like my ego and essentially like ignoring it. And I think everybody here on this roundtable has done that in many ways. Like I know, Buster, you've delegated a lot of the stuff that comes with like Hoops Nation, for example. Well,
100%.
I'm not sure if you're still pulling the trigger on everything, but like it seems like you have the free time to like chill and not stress about posting like all the time. And but I do think it ultimately comes down to ego and like in terms of a life hack, I think just reminding yourself that whatever feeling of control you need to have or whoever you think you are is meaningless. Like you just be like positively a good person and not worry about like any clout that comes with what you're doing. Like I've let go of that whole like clout thing. Like clout doesn't matter. People might introduce you as this is the guy who owns like Hoops Nation or Best Celebrations or the Score or Retweet NBA, but like what like that's not how I want to be introduced. That doesn't define me as a person. What defines me is like the things that I'm interested in, my family, my friends, like it's outside of the realm of work because frankly, this can all go tomorrow. Like it could just be taken out of our hands at any point, and that doesn't define us. So I think life hack one is just like reminding yourself that you're not everything that you think you are. Focus on like what outside of your work and outside of like the things that are happening on your phone. Who are you? It's your friends, it's your family, it's the hobbies that you have, like the things that you do that you're passionate about outside